watching the special edition of Political Capital, where we've been analyzing the exit polls and some of the key takeaways there. And to decode that for us in terms of market implications now, Dhananjay Sinha of Emkay Global Financial Services joining in. And we've got right in our studios Amrish Valiga of Edelweiss Financial Services. Gentlemen, thanks so much for taking the time out today. Amrish, let me start off with you first in terms of what we've been picking up out. And now, remember, the market was working with this. We've seen a 37% rally from those August lows that the markets have actually bumped up. Liquidity has been pretty strong. Now looking at the way exit polls have panned out, what's your reading?
I think the best is already getting priced in.
Okay.
And right now there are only two scenarios, it seems. I don't think it will be fractured. It's either short of majority or a comfortable majority. If it is short of majority, they'll take a while to cobble it up. Okay. So maybe three or 4 days more. So that is the time you'll see some uncertainty in the market, because we already seen a very good run-up. In case it's a comfortable majority, 280, 290, you will have the markets possibly giving you one more bump up. You'll see euphoria. Possibly you'll see levels of about 7,400, 500. And after that, I think the reality has to dawn, because we've not looked at fundamentals for the last 4-5 months. And things are very much different at the ground level. Sentiment is different. The ground level situation is different. There was an arbitrage opportunity, which I think you have to utilize that and possibly book out to a certain extent. That's the reason for the last 7-8 days, I've been telling people, keep booking out at every level.
Okay.
And is that the strategy you'd employ even for this week going ahead? I know that's very, very near term, but exactly, given the fact that it's so volatile.
Yeah, because again, you don't know as to what will finally happen on 16th. In case it's different as compared to what the exit poll is, the downside could be huge.
You know, you're one of the few people who's actually saying that, because most of the market seems to be saying that there is no downside, or they're ignoring the downside. They're so confident that we're going to see a majority.
You can never be so confident in the markets, and especially elections. Budget, at least you know that there are some people who know what's there in the budget paper.
Right.
Monetary policy, you know at least 1 or 2 people know exactly what is going to come out. But elections, no one knows.
And well, you know, we've been talking about this since morning itself. You always need to work with a disclaimer out here saying that, well, exit polls, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. You never know how it's going to play out. Historically also, we've seen a little bit of a surprise element coming in. But nonetheless, market, remember, has been working with the exit polls for the last couple of days in terms of what the expectation would be and the kind of rally. As you can see on your screen today as well, once again, around the day's highest point, as far as the markets are concerned, the Sensex also, that's been enjoying a 1,500-point rally just in the last 3 trading sessions. In fact, Devin Choksi of KR Choksi Securities also joining in right now. And we've also got Dhananjay Sinha of Emkay Financial Services. Now, Devin, you know, we've been analyzing the kind of numbers that we've been picking up from the exit polls itself. Amrish was commenting on the same itself. What are your thoughts looking at the way exit polls have panned out, with most of them giving ND a clear majority?
Good morning, Priyank. As I see it, I think the 290 is becoming a base case scenario across, I think, all the exit polls taken by majority of the parties on an average basis. So I think what is obvious and clear that I think if this 290 numbers is, I think, the base case, then in such situation, the NDA government is coming into power. Now the main important point which I would like to put across here is that, suppose, I think, as some of the polls indicating, if the NDA ends up getting 320 kind of seats, in such situation, I think the market would start giving premium to this particular proposition, more because I think the lesser amount of hurdles in the parliament for the NDA to clear some of the policy.
Get Devin to complete that thought in a moment. Let's also bring in Dhananjay here. Dhananjay, let's take that base that Devin was talking about. Would you agree that one can safely assume that given these exit poll results, or are you also, as Amrish was saying, just holding out there, a little bit cautious until Friday?
No, I think the overall view that we have actually maintained is that the euphoria ahead of the elections would actually be there. So the situation that we were building in was that the euphoria would actually get priced into the market, and there was a pro-Modi trade that was happening since December of last year. So I think we had expected the rally to happen the way it has. And so effectively, if you compare what we are seeing this time around, is that the market is pricing in the outcome ahead of the election. So that's one part of the trade that has been happening, and hence after the event is passed, I think the ground reality will actually start catching up. Fundamentals have not really moved much. So people have got onto a hope trade that cyclicals will do well, investments will happen, and if Modi becomes the prime minister, then a lot of interest rates will be cut, and a lot of macro adjustments will happen. So there is a lot of things that have been priced in. So based on that, I think a full trade has happened on back of that. So after the event, it will actually start correcting. The second part is the number bit part of it. And I think what seemed to be appearing is that the base case for NDA seemed to be in the region of 270 to 280 kind of range. And within that, something like 40 or 30 seats are attributable to the NDA alliances, which means the BJP will be around 240 or something. If you compare the exit polls of the previous 3 general elections since 1999, it does look like the bias was more in favor of the BJP in the past 3 general elections. And there was a kind of underperformance versus what was expected out of the exit polls. So in 2004, the underperformance was as high as 30%. In 2009, it is somewhere around 15 or 18%. So it is likely that if that historical data is considered, it is likely that the base case that we are building in the region of 280, 270, 280 might actually be somewhat lower. Any which way, this time around we have seen significant media enthusiasm with respect to the NDA and the BJP. So I think there might be some discounting happening. So the scenario that I am looking for is that the BJP would actually be lesser than 240. And the BJP will have to really cobble up additional support from people outside of NDA, and hence there will be uncertainty arising from there. That also kind of substantiate my view that post the event results are announced, there will be a correction.
Let's also welcome in Amisha Vora, Joint Managing Director for Prabhudas Leela, who's joining in this conversation. Amisha, thanks for taking the time out today. We've been tracking the exit polls. We've been trying to analyze what it means for the market itself. What's your reading, and what does it actually throw up in terms of a strategy here?
So I think that, the exit poll outcome is extremely favorable, no doubt about it. And probably this kind of a reality, if it turns into reality, it would mean that probably almost after 5 or 6 terms of, election, that we will get a decisive mandate at the center. And I think it can mean a lot. So I will not be the one who would be very much in a hurry to take very short-term view at this point of time. Rather, one should be little ready to bear with a little, corrective modes in the market or corrective phases in the market as and when they come, instead of really predicting it in a hurry, and stay invested. A lot of retail HNI investors would have been waiting as markets are running little ahead of fundamentals as to when to enter. And I would say that they have to really start looking at markets from a slightly medium to long-term perspective, as a lot of change will happen, because the background of the economy is also equally important. Last 5 years, despite all the demographic potential that we had, we were underperforming as an economy hugely. So a turnaround, natural turnaround, was also probably possible when it get aided by very efficient decision making. I think there is a lot more to come, and one should stay invested.